Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new little show, a new little story arc, a new little planned series. We are going to be reviewing the relaunch of NXT, where previously on the channel, I think some of the videos did go out. We did try a bit of Game Show NXT at a time. We got a little bit fried with WWE ECW, but now, after getting extremely fried over current WWE ECW, it's time to do something. I don't know, it's that weird thing where you watch so much garbage wrestling, you need something to bring you back into the light. And that for me is the relaunch of NXT.
See, I haven't decided. Oh, what's that way? I haven't decided what will go out first, whether that is ECW or NXT, the NXT podcast. I'll figure it out. I was going to very quickly there. That's fine. I was just fading because the first fade was very long. I'm still going to decide what comes out first, but obviously Ash is hosting it. He was originally going to host the ECW one, then I took over because honestly, I can say because it's the pseudo channel. Ash felt like he was going to get it done because like every week ECW would under deliver, and it's like time to pop a bottle of whiskey, drink it raw. I will say though, if this does come out before, when we do get if this comes out before the ECW podcast, I'm still deciding because ultimately I want to. If you don't know, my goal is for ECW is to release it up to the Benoit tragedy and then leave it for a little while because obviously that's going to. But of course, you I don't need to explain it, but obviously, so I'm figuring out which one I'm going to release first, the NXT or ECW. We've recorded up to the one night stand for ECW, just in case this comes out before it. And yeah, we still have a couple of weeks to go on ECW until we take the full price for a couple of months. Yeah, it's not looking good. But yeah, this is NXT. This is obviously I'll just very quickly explain how I'll explain it my ways, and I'll let you host. So obviously ECW failed. It failed tremendously. Um, yeah, it wasn't a good relaunch of a developmental brand because honestly, Paul Heyman was there, and not saying Paul Heyman is a bit of a control freak, but if you don't get along with Paul Heyman, it's not a good look, see. So Paul Heyman and Vince had a lot of arguments about ECW, famously the December to December pay per view. Just to bring that up again, the December to December pay per view was shit, which led to Paul Heyman going, right, Vince, I told you it was shit. You went with the idea. I'm leaving, and Vince went, you can't leave. I've fired you. I went, well, I'm already leaving. So Vince ran ECW in fucking ground, and then a giant nuke hit it around June '07, which sort of leads to the fucking relaunch where it's not really, no one really gives a shit about it. You know, you get Yoshi Tatsu, fucking CM Punk's still there, but he's about to go to the main roster. Like it's literally an ECW where no one gives a shit about it. Like not the guy in charge, not the guy who's producing it. No one gives a shit. And then obviously that dies a slow death in 2010, which then to the NXT that we know and well, not the
Leads
NXT
to
we know.
Game Show NXT.
Yeah, it leads to Game Show NXT, which also sort of failed because it was trying to be reality TV, but honestly, people just didn't give a shit. That like
I mean, it was a very slow decline, really. Like, one of these days, if I ever actually decide to make scripted wrestling content, the downfall of Game Show NXT is fairly interesting because it starts off first season, spawns the Nexus, but then what needed to happen for the Nexus to win is they needed to actually become fucking main eventers and actually become proper stars. But no, John Cena happened and the Nexus got buried. So from that point onwards, NXT season two, Poison Chalice, fucking low key wins it, which
Evolve.
is yeah, Caval wins it, which is certainly a
I
decision.
just want to very
An
quickly.
interesting decision, but definitely a decision.
I do want to just very quickly on Caval. If people know, I am kind of a low key. I'm sort of a low key fan, but I'm very distant with him, if that makes sense. So I
I mean,
know
he's a fucking idiot.
he's a cunt.
He's an
He's a
absolute
cunt.
twat.
Yeah, he's an absolute twat. He dug his own grave. But if you wonder what happened, was obviously when, as we don't know, Loki as Absolute is very much a fucking idiot. And what happened was he got a bit big for his boots, did old Loki, because what can fly on the indies can't fly in mainstream wrestling. If you don't know, Loki likes to hit a little bit hard in wrestling because again, I know it's a stupid analogy, but he does think wrestling is real, and he's going in there to beat the shit out of it. Because obviously there's horror stories like Chris Hero saying that Loki was one of the worst workers he ever worked with, or something like that. Which, if you pissed off Chris Hero, he seems like a relatively, again, I
Oh
don't
yeah, it
claim to
seems
know.
chill as fuck. Like,
Yeah, he seems chill as fuck. You know you fucked up, but yeah, Caval basically dug his own grave, which leads from being released because even Vince goes, I can't do anything with him. So at least with Brian, well, I know Brian didn't win it. I know Wade Barrett won season one, but
yeah,
at least sort of Wade Barrett has something to it. What does Loki have? Because you're taking away the one thing that makes him good, which is him being a hard striker and a fucking idiot. That's just my opinion.
yeah. It's just
So
like the whole point was obviously, Wade Barrett did it. He did at least have his main event surge, and then when he wasn't in the main event, he was just like the perennial IC champion. So that at least gave some legitimacy. Daniel Bryan in there. You can even count fucking, you know, like it's a weird one really. Like yeah, you do have the Michael Tarvers and the Darren Youngs, but you still have like Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater. These did become fairly main talents. Season two, you get Alex Riley, I guess, who's my boy. You do get Corral. Then at this point, the quality does start to shift a little bit. I think Titus O'Neil's in season two, and the best thing he does is fall over whilst carrying a keg. That's about it, really. Season three's the woman season, and it has one of the most notoriously garbage wrestling matches ever. And they also took it off TV because nobody wanted to put that shit on TV, so it was all on WWE.com. Season four, interesting-ish. Derek Bateman had the shit with Daniel Bryan. You have Johnny Curtis. You have Byron Saxon to a lesser extent. You have some of these wrestlers, and then obviously season five just turned into NXT Redemption, and then just fucking kept going until the wheels fell off. So yeah, it's definitely time doesn't look too fondly on NXT, but why did it get relaunched? Well, essentially, for a long period of time, you had FCW, which was Florida Championship Wrestling, which was the developmental. You had Deep South Wrestling for a time, you had OVW for a time, but at some point they wanted to reshape it. And hey, it's FCW. I don't remember who ran it, but it was a fairly small thing, fairly small, just in yeah, it's in Florida, and it had Dusty kind of training wrestlers there, and typically it is developmental at the end of the day, but a lot of kind of fairly good alumni, right? Like you do have Jake Hager, you have Sheamus, you have Drew Gallo, you have Drew McIntyre. Follows through. You do Heath Slater. Most of the wrestlers on NXT, like a bunch of people, Daniel Bryan kind of went a little bit through FCW.
even
Cesaro, like
Dean
so many of
Ambrose.
these wrestlers did come through that system. Roman Reigns, fucking Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, all these wrestlers did come through FCW, which for the most part it was just a pretty underwhelming show of just mostly wrestling and occasionally a bit of a promo from wrestling class. But some interesting times. But this was the period where Triple H finally kind of settled into his role, where he realized that he wanted his own little project and wanted to prove that he was worthy of actually running the show. Because he was never going to get this under Vince, and he was never actually going to be able to be allowed to do this sort of thing. So in comes the relaunch of NXT. It's brought to you in Full Sail University, which is, it has its reputation now. Towards the end, obviously, it got a little bit bitter for a lot of people because, I mean, take the famous Kevin Owens example, where they're saying we're going to go to a different arena that's not Full Sail. Boo, boo. Fuck you, wrestling fans. Fuck you. You want to see us grow? Don't boo when we're going to other arenas. That famous clip. but equally at this point in time, it's the mixture of developmental, and to me, and maybe this is a slightly less generous read, it does become Triple H's trying to kind of win over the internet wrestling fans
He
because
tries,
because
he
this is
does.
the way to bring in. Well, he does exactly, like this is his way to make this is his way to get a lot of favor with the online community, because he does bring in fucking indie wrestling legends, does bring in Chris Hero,
Yeah,
does bring in uh hmm?
Kevin Steen, El Generico.
Yeah, Kevin Steen, El
Well,
Generico,
not El Generico,
like
different person.
like Neville, fucking like a lot of these wrestlers who are seen as kind of hot prospects. He does just bring them in and fash them in, and obviously it sets the precedent for what comes later. That black and gold era with Adam Cole, Keith Lee, these sorts of wrestlers. And it does kind of pave that way for both a weird mix of developmental, but also a lot of the wrestling that the kind of nerdy stands will love. And that's kind of where it sits, right? It's the humble beginnings. This is Triple H assembling his crew that he's probably going to keep for as long as he can. And as he has proceeded to take over WWE, obviously a lot of the guys that he brought in to do NXT, suddenly they're playing a bigger part in the actual like main roster shows now. You know, JB, Abyss, these sorts of producers who they were Triple H's guys. And yeah, this was just his way to levy it in. And equally, you do get, William Regal, Dusty Rhodes. A lot of these wrestlers kind of clued in and jumped on early because they were there to kind of shape the next generations. But yeah, so as said before, it starts in Full Sail University, which is a crowd that will cheer fucking anyone doing anything, which is fine because you need this for the developmental wrestling, because a lot of these wrestlers are finding their feet, finding their footing. And definitely has some humble beginnings, definitely has some drawbacks, I'll say that much. But yeah, let's kind of get into the show. So it starts off with a promo package. It's essentially saying we build stars. That's the promo package. It's WWE. We're gonna build the next generation of talent, which is always NXT's prerogative. It's called NXT for fuck's sake. um, and But then we also get a very interesting little choice. JR is the first person to come out in NXT, and he brings out Dusty Rhodes, who notoriously fucking absolutely he was training everyone. He was training everyone in NXT and FCW. And Dusty kind of cuts a promo saying, "Hey, this will be a little bit different, but this is NXT. This is the future, as to be expected." And it's a cool stamp of approval because Dusty is universally loved in wrestling, fundamentally. And this is Jim Ross before people thought he should have retired. Nearly at the edge. Nearly at the edge. But who is the first wrestler we see on NXT? Also, we get the Game Show NXT promos where it's a weird sit down interview in a way, but there's also a bunch of shots of them like training in a ring. But we can safely say they were still finding their footing with these promos. Because the first promo is Bo Dallas. Obviously, hasn't really had the career people expected. He was touted as the young 21-year-old fucking next generation. When he was brought onto the main roster, he had immediately challenged for the IC title. And I don't know, from that point, it fucking fumbled the bag and he absolutely showed none of the real potential. But even now, what, 14 years on, in some weird roundabout way, he's still in wrestling. But he shows up. He essentially is characterized as good looking and he smiles a lot and he's Bo Dallas and he's gonna win. It's just about every promo. Did you get anything from this promo? Did it
I got
do anything for you?
I problem I have with Bo Dallas, and I know this might be a controversial opinion, but I don't mind Bo Dallas. Like nothing against Bo Dallas or Bo Thunder, whatever you want to call him. I just don't like his current gimmick as Uncle Howdy. I find it I like the Wyatt Six. Don't get me wrong. I don't like his current gimmick. as Uncle Howard is pretty much going, "Hey, your brother's dead. Gain the clothes. Go on, son." Which I know is a very harsh read. That's what I read, but that's what it felt like to me. But I do like young, cocky Bo Dallas because he is a second generation or a third generation. It's one to two. It's very confusing.
I think it's third generation.
So his dad is IRS, and I don't know if his dad is before that. A lot of wrestlers, and because
I
he
think it's like Blackjack Mulligan. I think.
probably, and yeah, it's very nice to see, like young up Dallas.
Yeah, yeah, it's Blackjack Mulligan.
Also, he will later get a promo of brother, but it is again nice to see young Dallas and to see where he comes from, to see what he does. Because just nice, and he has a squash match basically. Pretty good.
Yeah, he is facing Rick Victor, who is playing the role of a jobber in this episode. Equally very funny to see. Once again, it's weird to see all these wrestlers at the start, because a lot of them are at the start. And you see Rick Victor, and we know what he went to become, but you just see him. It's like, what the fuck? He's not in the fucking Ascension. What the fuck is this? But it just typical squash match. Bo some fiery offense, wins with a spear, and cuts another pretty, admittedly garbage promo saying, "Ah, you're gonna see a lot of me, and you just need to believe in Bo," because it's Dusty Rhodes. He wants everybody to have a catchphrase. It's his shit, right? It's what he loves. Everybody needs that, and especially WWE at this time. Everyone needs a line. They need someone to print on a T-shirt. But look, believe in Bo. Look, it's the start of what it would come to be. So, but yeah, it's very white meat, very generic, not particularly interesting, but interesting to see kind of where it goes because he has a very weird rise. Does Bo Dallas?
You were saying T-shirts like printed on catchphrases or T-shirts. Do you remember that T-shirt that was pulled at the last minute called "Watch Me Pray, Watch Me Nay Nay"?
No.
Uh, Continue on. I'll find the
But yeah, next match. Well, no, not in the next match. We get another promo, I believe. We get another promo hyping up the Ascension, which, once again, as we know now, Connor, Victor, long ass title run, and they spent a good chunk of time on the main roster, but also a good chunk. But this isn't the Ascension you come to know. This has Connor, of course, who was just off of doing a bunch of stuff in the NXT Redemption. And you also have Kenneth Cameron, who most wrestling fans will know as either Bram or Tom Latimer, because he did have this very weird stint where he was in WWE. Now he's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, might even be the current one. The one thing that's interesting about the Ascension is in FCW, it started off very weird because you know who do you know who announced the start of this faction?
no.
He is an announcer, and it's
Oh,
2011.
Ryan Nemeth.
No. So Ricardo Rodriguez, Alberto Del Rio's ring announcer, announced the Ascension, which did have Kenneth Cameron, Bram, Connor O'Brien. It had Tito Colon, who goes on to be Epico, and it had Raquel Diaz, who is Shaul Guerrero. It's Eddie's daughter. Obviously, that's not the form it's currently in, and it didn't necessarily work out like that. But it's just very funny to see the humble beginning of the Ascension, and it's definitely nothing like it comes to be. Like they're starting it like it's the Judgment Day type thing, but fuck me, does it just become a tag team very very quickly.
I found the T-shirt.
Now watch me bray bray. Oh bloody hell, that's fucking horrendous. That is. What's the fucking point? Fucking make it stop. That's just oh. But yeah, the Ascension, once again, as I've been saying, it's early on, it's new, it's fresh. This promo is fucking shit. It's weird as fuck, and it's shit. That's the main bit because yeah, look, I get it. It's the Ascension. So we see shots panning around of like tall cities, with all the like high-rise buildings, and you have half-naked Connor and fucking Kenneth standing on top of like metal girders at the top of a building, and they're essentially like, "The Ascension will rise," and he does a thing, and Connor does a thing where he says something, then he just kind of goes. just fucking just like walks out of fucking like it's pretty garbage. It is quite I love the Ascension, but this promo is just fucking embarrassing. It's outrageous.
Well, don't forget the new Batman movie was an hour of this time. So
It's humble beginnings. It's hokey as fuck. It's campy as fuck, which is fine because it's NXT. What the fuck else do you expect? But yes, who are they facing? CJ Parker and Mike Dalton, also known as fucking Juice Robinson and Tyler Breeze. What a fucking world. What a like it's the weird thing about wrestling where people it's like when you see a bunch of people talking about Roman Reigns, they watch him in 2015. It's like, why didn't people love him? And it's like, you love him now because what he's done now. So you have that attitude towards back then. But back then, no.
don't forget
Fuck
such
off.
a time.
No. Like Juice Robinson, this ain't no Juice Robinson. This is very early CJ Parker. He's got nothing to him. He doesn't have a look yet. And Mike Dalton, he does have the hallmarks of Tyler Breeze, but obviously that's a character who live and dies by the performance center as well. You know what I mean? Like he's only brought back because he does up, up, down, down, and he's willing to do anything to stay in the wrestling industry. Like it's just fucking. He's a good trainer. He is a good trainer. But yeah, the Ascension squash, CJ Parker, Mike Dalton. I suppose interesting enough. Mike Dalton sees CJ Parker getting his shit pushed in and just goes, "Yeah, fuck this. I'm not getting involved." And the Ascension hit him with I think it's the Downcast, which is it's like a sling blade jawbreaker into a flapjack, and that's not the total elimination. But yeah, what do you think about the Ascension?
Oh God, I used to be a big Ascension fan. Not the one with Bram. And also, I'm trying to remember.
No,
Bram is the one who had hardcore matches with Jimmy Havoc, isn't it? Or is
probably
that
I don't know.
or is that someone else? He was in TNA. I know he was in TNA. And I think he's in the tag
He
team
was in
with
TNA.
he's in the tag team with James Storm, I believe. I'm probably
Yes.
I'm probably confusing him with someone. That's all I remember. But I like the extension. I
Well,
thought he was
to be fair, I remember Bram because that was just that was just the one segment when Decay was coming up, and obviously you had Rosemary Abyss, Crazy Steve, and there was just a weird section where Rosemary and Bram were like just fucking, like, they were just getting together, and I love me some Rosemary. So
they all do.
look, I was a teenager. What can I say? What can I say?
But I was sort of
He also showed up in ICW for a little bit. It was just weird. Very. He's had such a strange career as Bram.
and he's also
Some
cancelled.
would say it's his own making, of course.
Yeah. And now he's cancelled, I believe. I might be
No,
wrong.
I think he's fine now.
Ah, fair enough. I
He's
do.
fine now, but he's hard stuck in NWA. So maybe that's that own form of purgatory, really.
Fucking I love I know like I got on a tangent here. Side note, fucking love everyone 8 years ago. NWA, you fucking now get me out of NWA, lads. Please get
Look,
me
they,
out
they
of
had a
there.
they had a really solid 6 months
Yeah,
where they brought power to YouTube, and it was fucking cool, and it felt retro, it felt real, and then Billy Corgan lost his motherfucking mind. Which some say he's never had it personally, but as is the as is the common complaint with artists, I guess.
I mean,
Tortured soul.
I mean, from what someone said, is NWA was good when Smashing Pumpkins was shit, and NWA is bad when Smashing Pumpkins is good. He only has to mind on
I
one
mean,
thing.
I remember there was a thing where Billy Corgan was hosting, like he was gonna do like a I think it was I don't remember exactly. It was something akin to like a weird rock opera of the Smashing Pumpkins. It's just mental. He's just fucking mental, isn't he? He's just absolutely fucking.
But
He's
yeah,
fucked in the head.
some would say going to NWA is a slow death, like going to OVW.
That is getting cancelled, really. With fucking Trevor Murdoch's a former champion, and Tim Storm holds it for 600 days. You know what I
don't
mean?
don't forget
It's
cherish. Fucking.
yes, but
But on
but yeah. So
NXT,
the Ascension win, they rise. That's just. I mean, get used to seeing these squash matches because it takes a good chunk of time to get anyone who would even relatively compete.
but on the Ascension, I love this. Like I said, I used to be a big Ascension fan. Wasn't a fan when Vince went your LOD, but shit, and then had the Legends beat the shit out of Ascension. That was no
Ah,
fun.
it's just fucking. It's like they were disrespecting legends and like Road Dogg. I don't know why. I still have no idea why Road Dogg and Billy Gunn came back in the 2010s. I don't understand. I still look as a kid, it's great, but why? Why the fuck are they wrestling in 2010s and tag champions first and foremost? Like, I don't understand them getting a match with against the fucking. Didn't they get a match with a Shield? Was it at Mania?
Mania
No
30
way, it
was
was at Mania. It was
Mania
at
30 was Kane, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn versus the Shield.
like.
Where they did the
How is that
double,
getting a Mania match?
they did a double triple power bomb, and everyone went, "Yeah, you should have just done the Wyatt match at that Mania instead of the fucking." Uh,
And then didn't they do versus Evolution shortly after? Like,
yeah,
I
then they
don't know.
had Shield versus Evolution, which are two great matches. To be fair,
They are, but it's certainly a choice. But hey, God, I fucking fuck Road Dogg first of all. He didn't do anything, did he? He did his punches. He do the little fucking shimmy. That's it. That's all the fucking moves he does. I don't even know what their tag finisher were.
I couldn't tell you. Like I've watched some James Gang matches in TNA, but I can't tell you because the only interesting thing I have about James Gang is when the fuck got him full up Bob Armstrong and the TNA crowd fucking thought like Hulk Hogan just come because they not come as in like the next like has just arrived to TNA because fucking the pop he got was like prime Stone Cold. like, like
It's like he's even in the he is a part of the fucking Armstrong family as well. I don't know. It's mental, isn't it? I
but
don't
like
know how they got jobs, but fair
but
enough.
they're Triple H's mate. Let's be
Yes.
But I do like the attention again, not the first Bram, I do like the attention. Um, I can't wait to see more of them. I can't wait till Bram gets stuck out. The one that I'm looking forward to is when the Wolves just magically show up on one of these episodes. I know it's not for a year. I fucking love that. The
I mean,
Wolves,
the tag division's really slow building.
yeah. If you don't know the
I
Wolves,
still, the one thing I'll always still say, the one thing that's still mental, and this is fucking years away, but it's still mental that fucking they put fucking Scott Dawson and fucking Dash Wilder. They put Dax and fucking Cash together initially, and they did actually become fucking probably one of the greatest tag teams of their generation.
I
And
mean,
in general, that shit's mental to me.
yeah, I mean, you kind of look at what they're doing in AEW right now to time good. Fucking interfere with young bucks and Cole Cage and Christian Cage. So
Yeah,
it is
it's just
wild.
ridiculous.
But obviously at this time, no one did what would happen. It's also weird to see because I just want to give the landscape of wrestling at this time. This is roughly what August 2012. If you don't know, the only real hot angle in WWE at this time is CM Punk is world champion, but also the weird
Yeah.
feud with John Cena and John Laurinaitis, which was on the Raw rebound, which also had Vince McMahon, which we
Which also
quickly,
main evented ahead of CM Punk as well.
yeah, against the CM Punk Daniel Bryan match, which is certainly a
Yeah.
choice. But if you look at the Janelle Grant lawsuit, you can understand why Vince wanted John Laurinaitis in an event. That's, that's just a terrible joke that was just made. Don't know. But it like at this time, John Laurinaitis is fighting like John Cena. You know what TNA's doing? You know their hot angle is pretty obvious. You know their hot angle is
Hulk Hogan.
aces and eights.
Oh, it's Ace and Eights. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, obviously no. If you're wondering, August 1st doesn't happen yet. The one fucking get out.
Yeah, Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, he doesn't happen for a year. He does not. I don't think he happens to 2013. I think it might happen in
Yeah.
2022. Yeah, it's that's still one of my favorite
I
fucking.
mean, it's definitely, wrestling. Basically, it was the gap between the PG era and like the ruthless. Well, the one thing I'm going to take that, so I'm just going to call it the ruthless depression. That's what I'm going to fucking call it. And then the PG era, and then obviously wrestling has that big boom when you have CM Punk's The Summer of Punk. But other than that, it's definitely in a fucking holding. It's stuck in the penis explosion chamber. Really, like that's it. That's what wrestling is at this time. Like there's some cool stuff to think about, and then after the Summer of Punk, you see the slow rise, Daniel Bryan, that stuff. Like it's a slow burn right now. But yeah, I think next segment is we get Damien Sandow, who is obviously doing his best impression of the genius Lanny Boffo, of course. Fucking great role, and he's set to have a match against uh fuck, what's his name, James Jordan.
Jason Jordan.
Jason Jordan, there we are, close enough. Jason Jordan honestly still looks the same as when he was on Raw. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, Jason Jordan spent 6 years in developmental and then got injured and had to retire way too soon. Ridiculous. Um,
Alberto.
but
I
but Damien Sandow essentially comes out and says, "Look, it's my job to educate the masses. I'm not going to wrestle as ignoramus. Fuck you," and then leaves. Which I love that gimmick. I fucking love it. I'm not going to wrestle this opponent. They're not worthy. Fuck you. Actual heat from the crowd. I'm in. I don't even know if he does anything in early NXT, but I'm ready for it.
mean,
Like he's one of the guys who gets the weird call up really quickly.
what I don't like about Damien Sandow
Hmm.
is the fact he won Money in the Bank and they went, you're gonna lose to John Cena. It's a
They
bit
won the Money in the Bank, which should have gone to Cody.
yeah,
But just imagine that. Imagine that butterfly effect. Like Cody wins Money in the Bank, exposed himself as a mediocre wrestler and a shit character in 2013, doesn't become Stardust, and the history's changed.
yeah. But like honestly, I wish Damien Sandow had more to do. I don't like how he lost when he had three tests. Still not that. As
No,
did John
still
Cena.
still horrendous.
Like, cause then John Cena, I believe, loses the belt. No, he wins the belt off Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
Let's leave that there. Just let me just say his name again so you can hear the absolute silence of a pop. Alberto Del Rio. Exactly, no pop.
Alberto Del Patreon.
I know that was never his actual name, but I fucking love that. I love that running joke we have Alberto Del Rio. Um,
But yeah, I like this segment though. I like Damien Sandow. I'm interested to see who he actually deems worthy, who he's actually gonna wrestle.
no one.
I definitely have issues with him as a wrestler in general, because obviously he's character first, wrestler after. But equally, he does get phased out, and it basically, if he came 5 years ago, he's just a better man's version of Matt Striker, because he's not small. So, if he came at a different time, I think he probably would have done way better. But he definitely gets phased the fuck out. But like you could tell, he had it in him. He definitely he had it in him. But like once again, another career that's just depressing as fuck. Or perma stuck in NWA. Yeah, great.
Yes, he's stuck between roles together.
Exactly. But yeah, we get to the main event now. I don't think there's anything else in between.
Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah, obviously we get the promo from newly incoming Seth Rollins. So the funny bit about Seth Rollins at this time is obviously he's a bit of like a. I'm going to characterize him as edgy. At this time, he had a big fuck off ego and was happily going to do literally anything else. He was going to keep being an ROH. He was going to keep doing the indies. But he came to FCW, got really fucking jaded about being an FCW because you don't bust your ass in actual other promotions to go in some fucking shit place in Florida. And so he did have a massive ego at the time, and I don't remember who kind of set him straight, but essentially went, "Oi, you will get fucking fired if you don't shut the fuck up and do your job."
But it's all
And obviously now he comes in as like, it's funny to see how all of this initial edge he has is absolutely gone and buried. Like all this, like he comes in as like a Jimmy Jacobs type, edgy, uh, the changes now, fight back. That sort of like that sort of thing. Because he's like a alternative fucking black hair, blonde streaks. He's not exactly your traditional. He's not a Corey Graves level of like fucking like
carry.
character, but he definitely is that like the changes come in, I'm different, I'm gonna fucking win.
Yeah, I will say, from a recent show watch, he was desperately trying to keep the name Tyler Black. So they before giving new that on. Obviously, he wants to keep Tyler Black. People still want a Tyler Black indie return. Well, not indie return, like a non-WWE Seth Rollins run from Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins now. Like,
Probably
from,
be way more interesting to be fair. At
like,
least in that respect, he did get the best name out of all the Shield boys though.
yeah.
Like Dean,
I don't.
Roman
I
Reigns.
mean, but yeah, then you look at Dean Ambrose, real name Jonathan Good. So, uh,
Just call him Mox. Just call him Mox. It's
um,
all good.
but I do like LJ Seth Rollins. His character is definitely played out. I do hate, just to give modern rant about modern fun. I hate modern characters. So I've watched some of the CM Punk feud, and my God, they hit the same fucking vibe every week. I hate why you went on your ex friend's podcast, you shit on my company. Fuck you, mate. I used to be your friend. I'm no longer your friend. You're an egotistical man. This is the same shit I've been hearing ever since Punk returned to the ring. It's the same core fucking beat. It's just you're you shit on our company. You buried our company. How dare you bury our company? How dare you do that to our company? I tried to bust my ass, but he is very a company man. So honestly, even if fucking 4 years he was very much doing my gimmick of like I dress funny. Yeah, man. It's not funny when I do it, so it's not funny when you do it either. Um,
Yeah, but
but
yeah,
like
definitely. It'll be interesting to see if I can get on side with Seth Rollins in
I
his early stint because, as I've always maintained, I'm not the biggest fan.
I will
I
say
think he's just a weird amalgamation of many different characters he's had, and if he has to be an amalgamation of all the different characters, he's not had one that actually fucking works. But
I do want to say though, pre I think it's ACL tear before he fucked his knee up. He is a
yeah,
phenomenal wrestler. Like I will like I'm not
oh yeah, yeah.
not
I mean, he still is, but
no, he
yeah,
still is.
he's on another fucking level at this time.
Yeah, yeah. Before like he fucked his knee up, he's a phenomenal wrestler. Like generally, watch some of his matches when he's in the street. They are fantastic because you look at him and you go, how can that white boy fly? And it's just amazing. Basically,
I
how
mean, it's just that thing, right? It's a thing with Shield where they're so interesting because they all serve different purposes. Like the Shield was so good because it protected them all so much. Roman shut the fuck up and did his three moves every match. As the silent badass, fucking Mox was kind of like a fucking pit bull, just fucking battering you. Always viewed as kind of like the more kind of maybe not smarter one, but he would get himself into shit. And then you had Seth, who is kind of viewed as like the smarter, the architect, that sort of thing, which equally is really well. And yeah, like once again, he does have that. He does ascend to like a higher level. But in my fuck you kind of stance, I just don't ever think he ascended to the next level.
I mean, yeah.
He's really good. He's really, really good. He is deserving of the spot he's in, but he is the Triple H of this era.
Oh,
All of the other best people fucked off. So he is there and he'll carry the torch and he'll do it in a fun way. And most people like him, but I fucking don't.
don't forget he is the company man. Like he cares so about the company, and he will like carry the company until backs him. Like we heard the horror stories of him at WrestleMania 14. He literally fucking sellotape together and like was like, I'm finishing this until my back gives out. Then he returns like 2 weeks later, like, hey, just stay away for a couple of. Your back is gone, your legs are gone, your fucking arms are gone. Just stay back. Yeah, he's an interesting his early days Seth Rollins compared to modern Seth Rollins. Some people prefer early days Seth Rollins. I would be 93, but my entire problem with Seth Rollins lies in the fact of is just when I watched the CM Punk feud, uh, he pretty much just hit the same beat that every Done hit on CM Punk into WWE, and I that
Yeah, they do love to run it back every time. Fuck you, you left prick.
you went on your ex best friend's podcast and shit on our company. How dare you?
You left us.
You left me. You left all of us. When I needed you most, when I believed in you, you left. Just about him.
I think, yeah, but interesting promo. Gonna be interesting to see him wrestle early on. He still has the stomp, and otherwise he's doing not much too different. You know, it's very early days. He also put on a shitload of muscle after this point in time, so fair play to him. Um, but the main event is because the first two matches of the show, 2 minutes 20 and 1 minute 18 respectively, didn't really give much time because it's there to prove a point. But the main event is Tyson Kidd versus Michael McGillicuddy, which went 14 minutes and 6 seconds. And this one's just actually it's just a decent match, really. It's not. It's a very kind of interesting. It's a weird one, right? Because it is technical, because both wrestlers are quite technical wrestlers. You know, I mean, if Mr. Perfect Son isn't a fucking technical wrestler, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, someone gave him some terrible advice if that's the problem. Then you have Tyson Kidd, who is a fucking unsung hero, has a tragic like retirement in wrestling due to a freak accident, but fundamentally he is fucking phenomenal. And I am very excited to see the rise of Tyson Kidd. When I watched this NXT as like a teenager, Tyson Kidd was my fucking favorite, absolutely. And it's always interesting to see you see him slowly finding his footing, and even then he's wrestling as a face, which never particularly did before. I mean, remember Tyson Kidd with that shitty little tuft of hair as his fucking haircut, bald all around, little fucking tuft of hair here. Like
All in that hair color.
he never really he never really got to wrestle as a face, never really got to wrestle with the crowd surrounding him. So yeah, it's a cool match. There's some good spots, there's some good stuff. It Michael McGillicuddy's firmly in control until he spends too long. He puts Tyson Kidd in the tree of woe, lays him down, does it twice. He's going to do it again. This time he goes to run and hit him with like a low drop kick to the face. Tyson Kidd kind of holds himself up. McGillicuddy into the turnbuckle. Bobby first. And then from that you do get the comeback. It's back and forth. Nice little blockbuster. And then he hits him with a dungeon lock, which is a sharpshooter with a triangle choke. Like it's basically it's a mixture of the sharpshooter and Undertaker's Hell's Gate submission, which is fucking cool. And it's my favorite. I love these submissions because he has his legs locked, but he smashed him on the fucking head. So like he's in this lock, he's kicking him in the head. So McGillicuddy taps out pretty quickly, and a very good match to kick off the first episode of NXT or end the first episode of NXT.
Uh, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think it was now was supposed to no,
No, yeah, you're good.
oh,
You're good.
it's just weird. Okay, but it was fun to see, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what else happens on the NXT. I barely know anything that happens. Unlike ECW, where I know some tidbits happen. I get to see my boy Corey Graves. I love Corey. He has a fantastic team. Also retires early. But
Yeah.
I do want him back. I would give anything to have Graves back again. I know he's happy being a company, but fuck that. But
Just do one. Just do one or two. You know.
just appear in a rumble. That's all I ask. Just appear in a rumble and fucking
But yeah, like I
batter
suppose
Bonsack.
equally a bunch of the presentation. Obviously, the presentation is not it's not great. You know, they are like the arena's good. They're in full sail. The crowd's excited for everything. It's all shot nicely. You do get a very weird mixture of trying to figure out commentators and stuff, where you have Jim Ross and William Regal on commentary, which should really work, and it does kind of, but it's missing the glue. You know, it is missing that kind of glue guy in the middle, where Regal's just weird as fuck. Like Regal is very British. He is very British, and Jim Ross is kind of like a slightly um reluctant kind of southerner, right? He doesn't really. He's just like, who's this weird fucking guy? What the fuck does that mean? But I think it's JR whilst he's still good, and obviously Regal on commentary is always a highlight, as everybody came to realize when he went to AEW. It's like, oh fucking hell, we love him, we love him. But it both hypes it up, it gives it an extra bit of legitimacy, and if Jim Ross and William Regal are like this is fucking good, your brain does just go, yeah, this is good, this is fucking good. So it's a cool thing. Once again, the promos definitely need a bit of work. Definitely need a little bit of work with their fucking stock music behind it and hit the little sit down. Tell me why you're good. I have a smile. I'm Bo Dallas. Like, fucking hell. We are the Ascension. We will rise. Oh, fucking hell. I'm Seth Rollins. I'm going to be the change. Like, yeah, good one. Get your one-liners in now. But a fairly interesting one. I could imagine though this card does like if you think about it now, the card probably looks a bit shit though. Like let's be real. This is if you were expecting something that wasn't developmental, you will be sorely disappointed by watching a 14-minute Tyson Kidd and Michael McGillicuddy match. But for me, a freak who loves this sort of developmental wrestling, I'm in. I'm fucking fully in. I've got an erection. I'm ready to go. I'm shooting blanks. But no, that's the first edition of NXT. It's solid enough episode, good start, and it kind of sets the tone for what should be a pretty interesting rise because it is something of a relative success story as something that starts a weekly TV show, eventually gets its own pay-per-views, eventually gets its own specials, and then fucking the rest is history. So it's always fun to see it from where it started. And obviously that's not something it's something that can only really extend to this sort of stuff, right? You can't watch WWE from the start, but you can watch NXT from the start. But even then, this isn't technically the start. But yeah, there we are. That's the first edition of the WWE NXT reviews. Hope you enjoyed it, and obviously catch us in the next one.